themed party. I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay.
Because if I say the name, everyone's going to know what it is. But that's what you're going to know it when you see it. And I'm very excited. Everyone's dressed up. Everyone's in costume. It's really fun.
Well, Jordan, welcome back to Us Weekly.
Thank
it's
you.
good to see you.
It's good to be back.
Big premiere coming up. How do you feel about season 2?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I feel like people are going to see a different side of everyone and a different dynamic. So I'm excited for everybody to see that.
Yeah, were you a little bit more relaxed going into this season, knowing what you knew about last season, a little bit more comfortable?
I mean, yes and no, because you just never know what to expect with this group. So a lot of us entered not speaking, like there were some tensions in the house, dynamics have changed. So navigating that, I wasn't looking forward to. Yeah. But I think we all got over it really quickly.
Yeah. After last season, which friendship dynamic shift surprised you the most?
Probably the one with Jasmine. We have gone through a bit of a year.
Right.
So you'll see that play out this season. That's a big part of it. Silas is obviously not there because he's deployed. So that was an interesting dynamic as well. So you'll definitely see that, as well as Nick. Our relationship definitely grew over time since you last saw us.
Right. What was when cameras weren't rolling over this past year, what was your relationship like with Jasmine? Because we see that, there were some cast outings that she wasn't included in, and, you kind of felt like she wasn't being authentic. Yeah. So what was going on when cameras weren't rolling?
So I just felt like there was a weird pattern that was going on, and so I kind of distanced myself a bit, and we were fine, and then there was a moment where we really weren't speaking, and there was a moment where we really weren't speaking, and then you see that on camera. We entered the house, we hadn't talked for a couple of months.
What caused that?
Just like you said, it was the inauthenticity. It made me feel like I couldn't trust in the friendship. It felt like she wanted me to be something that I wasn't, and I didn't know what to do with that. So sometimes for me, I got to take a little space, reevaluate what's going on, and then come back to center and see where we're at.
How did she feel about you? Was she confused by you distancing yourself, you think?
I don't know, because to me, we'd had a conversation about it. So I thought it was clear. Yeah. But I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
You'd have to ask her.
Yeah.
But we do see at the end of the first episode, the two of you seem to come to some sort of understanding and want to move forward. Was that just a temporary fix, or do you feel like your relationship progressed over the summer?
Well, I think that we've been friends for a long time. And like any friendship, there's ups, there's downs, there's ins and outs. And I think as long as we were both willing to meet in the middle of saying, let's try to progress. It's not going to look the same, but let's see what we can come up with. I think we were both honest about that. Yeah. And so at that point, there was never any animosity. Sure. Like any conversation or any frustrations that we had was always from a place of love. So I think we were both willing to just say, you know what, we're on vacation. Let's try to keep it light and let's see what happens.
Did you miss that friendship?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But things happen and dynamics change. So I don't know what will happen, but I think we are definitely in a much better place.
That's good.
Yes.
Do you feel like she was a different person this summer, or I guess not last summer? Yes,
compared to the one previously. Yes, yeah, definitely. It felt more like the old Jasmine that I knew.
Do you think that was because Silas wasn't there?
I mean, it had to have been a factor, right? It's a huge difference, and so I think that's also something you'll see. Is I'm a little reserved about that because I'm like, is this just temporary? Sure. Like when he gets back, is that all over? I don't know. Yeah.
Do you trust her now?
With some things. Yeah.
Yeah. How was the dynamic different with Silas not being there?
It was a lot less noisy in all senses of the word. Right. But it was a different dynamic without Silas and without Jason, quite frankly. We don't have that father figure, sure, yes. I'll say. So that was different. Preston, that's his line brother. So there was a lot of, it was just a different vibe. I don't know if it was better or if it was worse. It was just different without him, for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like motherhood has changed Jasmine?
I haven't seen her.
Okay.
since giving birth. We've only spoken on the phone, but I'm sure, I mean, it has to, right?
Yeah.
But the baby's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. But yeah, I'm sure it has. I don't know how yet, though.
Okay, you don't know
Yeah.
how. But with
She
that,
was also always nurturing and always like mama figure, so I imagine she only blossomed.
sure.
Yeah.
Has it been difficult though without Silas being there? I would imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she has a great support system. I know her family is there by her side. I can't imagine going through that journey without your partner. And that is really heartbreaking to even think about. But she's strong, and I think she's doing well. She's doing really well. I went to the baby shower, and it was beautiful.
That's
So
good.
I think, it's still a positive time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Was it all positive for you this season? Not talking about Jasmine.
Yeah.
What else are we going to see you kind of?
I definitely open up about my mental health. So you'll see me struggling with a lot of my anxiety, a little bit of my depression, dealing with my alopecia. So you will see some emotions,
Sure,
which
yeah.
is typical for me. I'm bound to have a breakdown at one point, or I call them breakthroughs.
Right, I like
because
that.
something always positive comes out of it. So you'll see me break through.
Sure.
Which will be fun, and then there's a wonderful themed party that I can't wait for everyone
love
to
that.
see. Yes.
Was
that
it
I
hard
have.
for you to open up about things that you're struggling with?
To certain people, it felt completely real, authentic, naturally what I would do. There is a point where it gets presented in front of everyone, where would I have normally shared it with everyone in the house? Probably not. We have relationships that are closer to some people than others, so naturally you share more things with some people than you do some other people.
Yes.
But, I'm an open book, so it's out there.
It's out there.
Yeah.
Do we have a little love triangle going on this summer too? With Summer, Noel.
Yeah, I mean, there's some overlap.
Okay.
There's an interesting little vibe there. I tried to stay in my lane on that one. Yeah, I learned my lesson from Winter House.
Right,
Yeah.
Was Summer justified in how she felt though? Because we do see her call him out the first episode.
Woo! I mean, I think the point she was trying to make was, Alex, if we're trying to move forward with a friendship, and the first thing you do is not invite us somewhere, what's going on? And for her, it was a different level because there's a level of intimacy there.
Yeah.
For me, I was just like, listen, are we trying to be friends or not? So I think for her, it was like, well, this feels weird.
Yeah.
So I think, she was definitely justifiable in that.
Definitely.
I think, unfortunately, it came out at a really lit time that maybe it could have been a private conversation.
Right.
But yeah.
Could have handled a little differently,
Just a little
maybe.
bit, yeah.
What did Noelle kind of bring to the group?
Noelle is so fun. She's so lively. She's a Capricorn sister like me and Jasmine. So she gives us that like Southern twang.
Yeah.
And she's so fun and just like upbeat. And she's also just a great person to chat with. I talked to her a lot about my hair and she helped me with my wigs and stuff. So she's lovely.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think after last season, you were on Watch What Happens Live, and you said that there was maybe a slight possibility of romantic feelings between you and Amir. Obviously, he was dating somebody else this summer, but did anything ever progress with that?
No. It was very much friendly with us, I think. I don't know if he could handle all this. I'm a lot. I don't know. It's going to take a special man to knock me off my feet.
Yes.
Yeah. So, he and Natalie are the perfect match.
Yeah. Still together, and
You'll see her
approve?
on. She makes an appearance.
You approve?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think there are things in every relationship, and they're so young too, that I think there's room for growth. But I think they'll grow well together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What surprised you the most about this season? What was the most, besides like opening up about your mental struggles, what else was the most challenging thing to kind of navigate?
I think anytime you're going through struggles with friendships, it's such a vulnerable, like pure thing. So sometimes going through that in front of everybody is tough. You know what I mean? Because it's just, you both care about each other, but it's hard to get out of your own way in it and not see just your side. And I think that was a theme with not just me and Jasmine, but through all the friendships in the house.
Sure.
And communicating those feelings and receiving what the other person is saying. So I think that was a general theme that, you know, it was challenging for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that you were not speaking to after this season?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm speaking to everybody.
Everybody's in a good place.
Yeah. Well, I'm in a
You're
good place
in a good
with
place.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't speak for everybody else.
Nope. I'm good.
Yes. What did you maybe learn from Winter House going into this season?
My Summer House, Martha's Vineyard people, we love to chat, honey. My God, we love to chat.
Yeah.
Winter House, I feel like, had a better cut off of the serious conversations and move back into our raging moment.
Sure, yeah.
Where I was like, listen, guys, we need to copy and paste this over here. Get your feelings out, and then let's move on.
Let's move on.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You feel like the tension lingers.
Right. Like, let's just cut it and go to dancing and doing what we need to do.
Do you think that's because you guys are such like a you know, I mean, this was a new group of people at Winter House. This is a real group of friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Is because there are years invested into some of these friendships and the dynamic. We are really a family that we're trying to get to the most healthy, like stable, happy place that we can with one another. So it's out of love that we drag things out.
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the show did bring, you know, yes, there's tensions and yes, there's friendships that kind of unravel, but do you feel at the end of the day this did bring everybody closer together since you kind of are forced to talk about all your issues and your problems?
I think so. I think we've also learned a lot from each other and we continue to learn. You know, Amir's in Texas, Shanice is now in Tampa. So it's like there's different vibes that come together. We're not just all based in New York. So I think it's a good mix match of people, you know.
Who have you remained closest with since Winter House?
Preston, my husband.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean from Winter House?
Yes.
Oh, you know, I don't know. I feel like I talked to Casey a lot. I saw Amanda and Kyle recently. We were all chatting earlier today because we were filming this time last year.
Sure, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, the group chat is still very much alive.
Sure,
so I think we're all kind of constantly still in communication. I saw Schwartz recently, so yeah.
Yeah, disappointed, sad that you weren't back for the season?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I wanted to figure out how to snowboard this year. I was dedicated and determined.
Yes.
So, and now I have all the gear. So I'm like, what am I doing with this? Yeah.
Yes. So how would you feel about Alex being in the house again?
Which Alex?
The whole when you were in the love triangle. Do I have his name wrong?
Oh yeah, Alex.
Yes,
sorry, there's just one Alex.
Yes.
I mean, I don't. I don't have any feelings about it.
I love it. So funny. But you were saying coming off of this season of Martha's Vineyard, you and Preston are still...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's hubby right there.
That's hubby right there.
Yeah.
What is that one moment you can't wait for fans to see this season?
My party. My themed party. I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay.
Because if I say the name, everyone's going to know what it is. But that's what... You're going to know it when you see it. And I'm very excited. Everyone's dressed up. Everyone's in costume. It's really fun.